Good morning to all of you. Today we have a grammar session. Thank you, Vinayak, for the beautiful PPT presentation. So we are talking about grammar. Types of sentences. So the types of sentences are declarative, imperative, interrogative, exclamatory. And there should be negative sentences also. Declarative sentence. A sentence may state truth, argument, or an idea. That is a declarative sentence. An example is God is love. My name is Alpha. Let's go for three types of declarative sentence. Affirmative sentence, negative sentence, and emphatic sentence. So in declarative, there is assertive or positive sentences, negative sentences, and the sentences which emphasizes. Three kinds of declarative sentence. He is reading a book. That is a positive sentence. Negative sentence is he is not reading a book. Emphatic sentences with emphasis, stress. He is saying he is indeed reading a book. Interrogative sentence. So it is a question type of sentence. A sentence that asks a question and uses a question mark is called interrogative sentence. Yes or no that can be answered with yes or no response. Example, did you finish your homework? So you will say yes sir, no ma'am, whatever is the answer. So it can be yes or no also. Alternative interrogatives that can provide two or more alternative answer. Would you prefer tea or coffee? Yeah, so these are alternative interrogatives. You would say I would prefer tea or I would prefer coffee. So it depends. WH interrogatives. So in WH family, which, what, where, when, why. But surprisingly, how also is in WH family. Though it doesn't begin with WH, how also is included in WH family. That begins with WH. A tag question is a construction in which interrogative fragment is added to a declarative or an imperative clause. Let us simplify it. Sometimes just to reassure what you asked, you ask a question tag. You are a bit confused about a person and you ask him, you are John? And then just to ensure it, are you, aren't you? So you have to note when you are John, that you are John is a positive sentence, but when we add a question tag, it should be negative tag. That you have to remember. You are John, that is a positive sentence, but the question tag is aren't you, aren't you? So you have to be asking. Affirmative interrogative. That starts with affirmative. Example, have you seen the movie? Negative interrogative. That begins with a negative auxiliary verb. Haven't you seen the movie? So not is added, so it becomes a negative interrogative. And if it doesn't have, sorry, not, then it is affirmative interrogative. Have you seen the movie? Imperative sentence. So imperative sentence can be of three variety. That is advice, request, and command. In imperative sentence, there can be three things: advice, request, commands. Affirmative. They can tell a person to either do or not to do something. Go to bed. Negative. Don't plus the simple form of verb don't make noise. Emphatic is imperative form that is mostly used for polite request. Please do pray. The subject you is not generally expressed in imperative sentence. Please denotes request. It comes, example, get me a cup of coffee, that is order. But you is not there, but I will look at somebody and I will say, get me a glass of coffee. That means you get a glass of coffee. So we usually omit you. So please get a cup of coffee, that can be request. But if there is no please get a cup of coffee, that's order. Exclamatory sentences. Type of sentence that expresses sudden, strong feeling of making exclamation. Exclamatory sentence says something suddenly, strongly, with great feeling. Rather than saying something else, we can use exclamatory mark. With appropriate information, other sentence types, especially declarative sentence, can be used to form exclamatory sentence. What used with a noun, with adjective or verb, how used with adjective or adverb can be used to form exclamatory sentence. Example is, what a beautiful flower, and we put exclamation. And how loudly she shouts. Now let us see the formation of sentence. They say what plus now what plus adjective or adverb. So all of you will agree what, and then there is beautiful. Beautiful is adjective, and then we have the object, that is the flower. The construction of how. How with adjective or adverb. How loudly. So usually when there is ly, I'm talking about majority times. There are exceptions, but if ly is there, it is definitely adverb. Silently, beautifully, loudly. So how loudly she shouted. So the construction is how plus adjective or adverb. So here we have how plus adverb. Optative sentence. These sentences are which expresses an ardent prayer curse. So these are what you call ardent wish. It is not which. It must be a very, very strong wish, prayer, or curse. How I wish I could fly. May God help you. You will never prosper. That is a curse. So exclamatory and optative sentence are followed by the sign of exclamation. Exclamatory mark will be there. Correct use of punctuation and arrangement of words. These are very much required because in jumbled sentences and errors and omissions and all, these may, while teaching to class ninth, the topic may seem silly, but usually cadets or students go wrong here only. Different kinds of sentences can be distinguished by punctuation at the end. Though very simple, these insights are very important. Assertive or imperative sentence always ends with full stop. Full stop we call period also. If somebody says it ends with a period, that doesn't mean first period, second period, it means full stop. Interrogative sentence ends with a question mark. There's no doubt about it. Exclamatory or optative sentence ends with exclamation. So to identify the variety of sentence, declarative, imperative, assertive, you can identify with a period or a full stop. Interrogative or a question variety sentence with question mark. Exclamatory or optative sentence with an exclamatory mark. Yeah, thank you for a beautiful slide. Let's go for a recap once again, the types of sentences. So, four varieties of sentences: declarative, exclamatory, imperative, and interrogative. We'll go slow so that cadets will take it one by one slowly. Four varieties of sentences are there: declarative, imperative, exclamatory, and interrogative. The first one, declarative. The sentence may state truth, argument, or an idea. Example is God is love. Another example is my name is Alpha. And there are three types of declarative sentence. Affirmative sentence, negative sentence, emphatic sentence. So in affirmative, there just tell some facts. In negative, there will be not and there will be negative declaration. An emphatic sentence, it will be emphasized on the facts. Examples are before you. He is reading a book. Negative is he is not reading a book. And emphatic sentence, he is indeed reading a book. Interrogative sentence, as the slide suggests, it's a WH variety sentence. And I have already told you that in WH family, how is also included. Sentence that asks a question and uses a question mark, that is interrogative sentence. Then yes or no, that can be answered also with yes or no response. The example is, did you finish your homework? This reply can be positive also and negative also. Yes, I have finished my homework. No, I have not still finished my homework. Then there is something called alternative interrogatives that provide two or more alternative answers. So if you are a guest and the host will ask you, would you prefer tea or coffee? So you can tell your preference. I would prefer tea, ma'am. Or else you can say, I would prefer coffee, ma'am. So you have alternative. WH interrogative usually begins with WH word But don't forget, we have how also in that family, and it's called for an open-ended answers. What's your name? Example. Then we have question tag variety. A tag question is a construction in which an interrogative fragment is added to a declarative or imperative clause. You are John, aren't you? Or aren't you? So positive sentence, negative tag. You did not take milk in the morning. And if I have to apply tag, I will apply a positive tag. Did you? You did not drink milk in the morning. That is a negative sentence. Question tag will be did you? Positive tag. Now let us go for affirmative interrogative. That starts with affirmative. Example is, have you seen the movie? Negative interrogative. That begins with a negative auxiliary verb. Haven't you seen the movie? Imperative sentence. Imperative sentence can be three varieties: advice, request, command. Please get me a glass of water. That is request. Advise it. Go to the doctor immediately. Command is leave the room. So these can be imperative. Affirmative is go to bed. They tell the person to do or don't do something. Negative is don't plus simple form of a verb. Don't make noise. Emphatic imperative is used for polite request. Please do pray. The coffee mug has come once again. The subject you is not generally expressed. If there is no you, that doesn't mean that there is no subject or karta. Looking at somebody and telling something, that means that person is the subject. Get me a cup of coffee. That is order. Please get me a cup of coffee. That's a request. So the use of please and your tone matters. Exclamatory sentences. Express of sudden and strong feeling by making exclamation. Hooray, we have won the match. Wow, what a beautiful scenery. So all this can be a sudden expression of strong feeling. Exclamatory sentence says suddenly something strongly and with great feeling. And then we have exclamation mark. With appropriate information, other sentence types, especially declarative sentence, can be used to form exclamatory sentences. What? This already I have explained you. What and how is used in exclamatory sentence. What a beautiful flower. How loudly she shouts. Optative sentences. This sentences usually is a very strong desire, wish, prayer, or curse. Example is, how I wish I could fly. That is a strong desire. Human beings don't have wings, but this person desires to fly. May God help you. You will never prosper. And all exclamatory and optative sentence, they are followed by exclamation mark. May the king live long. So punctuation and the proper sequencing and arrangement of words is very important. These things are very simple, but we go wrong here. So in assertive sentences or imperative sentence, full stop is mandatory. Interrogative sentence, it's followed by a question mark. Exclamatory or optative sentence, we have exclamation mark. Hope now things are very clear to you.